And welcome to the short episode dedicated to testing matte lacquer cabinet fronts for resistance to high temperatures and open flame. We'll also check whether it supports combustion. Let's begin. I'm using a heat gun. You've already seen this procedure in the previous video. For now, I'll follow the same temperature steps that were tested on chipboard earlier. We had a point at 110 degrees. I'll show it shortly. But 100 degrees itself didn't cause any damage. Next steps were 150 and 220. Let's test resistance at the same temperatures. By the way, I think this is a very practical testing system. 100 degrees represents boiling water. If the material withstands this, it will handle boiling water. 150 degrees is an intermediate level, 220 is a roughly an iron. Let me quickly check. An iron typically heats up to around 200 degrees at maximum. So if a surface can withstand 220 degrees without ignition, and we are not using open flame, this gives us a clear picture of thermal resistance. So I'll keep the system 110, 150, 220. Then we move to open flame testing, as in previous episodes. Let me show you the damage first. 110 degrees we see a blister. It was initially stronger, then slightly reduced. The coating is not destroyed. 150, a large blister appears, it cracks. 220, clearly full damage. Now open flame. Here's what we observed. At around 110, measured by pyrometer, we already see flame caused by the coating itself. Then I heated this area up to about 250. After turning off the burner, the flame stopped immediately. I can demonstrate again. Let's do it more gradually. If flame directly touch ignition happens already around 110.
Специально подальше поставлю горелку, чтобы это более плавно произошло.
If not, we reach 180, then 260, even 300 degrees. At 300 degrees, still not sustained burning, so combustion does not continue. That's now data, test complete. Let me mark 300 degrees here. Yes, the material is damaged, but importantly, it remains safe. Matte lacquer is typically applied on MDF around 19 mm thick. 19.35 mm nominal. For those who noticed 19.36 earlier, I rounded it verbally. Now we move to water testing.
Вот и
24 hours later,
под воду.
I take out the matte lacquer panel from water.
На прошлом ролике я вам рассказывал.
As I mentioned earlier, all samples were submerged at the same time.
Так. Что мы можем...
So what do we see?
Сама по себе...
The lacquer
никак не
itself is completely unaffected,
потому что
which is expected since the lacquer does not allow water through. What's interesting about this sample? It's coated on both sides.
задняя сторона, обратная фасада делает
Sometimes panels are coated only on one side, with the back side laminated, creating a joint between lacquer and laminate. Here, that joint does not exist.
она даже как будто бы и не пыталась расшириться.
So the fully coated areas did not expand at all.
Тут он попытался чуть-чуть увеличиться, но это даже не сильно заметно.
There is a small chip here, and even the expansion is minimal. Now let's look at the exposed stage. Here you can clearly see swelling.
Легкое расширение. Значит, какой-то хороший нам вывод может дать.
Important conclusions.
Даже за сутки
Even after 24 hours,
вода не просчитывает
water didn't penetrate the entire core. It penetrated only about 5 millimeters.
хорошо.
This is very important when evaluating edge-banded materials,
Можно было бы подумать, что вода
because you might assume water enters and saturates the entire board, but that's not the case.
разорвало все кромки.
Here's a clear example. With chipboard, edge filed completely. Here, fully coated areas remained intact.
Она начала разбухать.
Only exposed edge started swelling. Now measurements. Interior thickness
Замер до погружения.
19.36 millimeters.
Меряем это
Same position after test.
28.
1927, 1928. Measurement tolerance, no real change.
Вот 19.
Here, 1936.
То есть у нас с этой стороны
So, no swelling here.
не прошло никакого разбухания. Давайте я получше протру, а то я боюсь, я не напишу на гладкой поверхности маркера. А вот эту сторону я сейчас замерю.
Now measuring the exposed side.
Я прям беру внешнюю часть,
Due to swelling shape.
так вот аккуратненько цепляюсь, потому что она разбухла. Такой формы,
Like a flower opening.
так сказать, цветка. Я вижу 20.
We get around 21 and 15 millimeters. So clear expansion on the exposed edge. Now the table for fire and water test. We have columns, heat gun at 100 degrees, 150, 220, 300. I added 300 degrees based on additional testing. Then open flame, recorded separately. The goal is to see whether combustion continues or stops after removing flame. Each step gets a yes/no result, which converts into points. Next, moisture resistance. We measure thickness before and after immersion, and add comments to explain behavior. This forms a scoring system to compare materials objectively. This is actually a very interesting and useful test, because it shows how lacquer behaves during flooding. Since it's a continuous sprayed coating, there are no seams,
С помощью напыления.
and tests clearly show no matter how advanced edge bending or adhesive is, joints always allow water in. Lacquer does not. So if a panel is fully coated on all sides and has no physical damage, it can sit in water for 24 hours and remain unchanged. I hope this was useful. In next final episode, I'll explain where this material should be used and where it should be avoided.